take you along on this one here. It's going to be an interesting one. For the same project I did the railings for, there's a couple of there's a couple more things they want me to do. And if you see behind me, I have a chain fall, and that came from the original facility. And they want two things done with it. They want to keep the chain fall so they can hang it, but they don't want all the chain on it. So I just need to remove the chain. And then after removing the chain, we're going to take what's left and make curtain rods or some type of curtain holder for a 16-foot, very, very tall curtain. So that's the project. Let's see how it turns out. This part is going to be relatively simple. This is the end of the live chain. This is the feed that goes in or comes out. I'm just going to go ahead and see how it's bolted here. Just going to nip off this link and then bolt this on here so that's solid. It's adjusted to the height that I want. And that's it. That's all I got to do. So that part's going to be easy. There goes the old chain. Feed that new chain right in. And there you have it. First modification done. We still got to clean the thing up. For the last part of the ornamental, the wall hanger thing, I want this chain to come, I would say, about 2 foot lower than the hook is set at now, just to give the idea that it belongs there. Fortunately, there's already a link here that we can take off, and then we can just go ahead figure out where we want that to be. Simple, simple, simple. But it's, you know, this is the easy part of the project. Those curtain hangers are going to be. I think I like that. All right, so we'll go right there, and we'll cut that other link off. And we'll be in business. All right, let's get this thing cut. Just lift this up a little and we'll see what it looks like, and we'll move on to the curtains. Alright, to the untrained eye, I think that looks pretty good. The hook's hanging like it should, and this all I gotta do is clean her up now. Get her cleaned up. Not too much though, because there's another one that's really dirty. Get her washed up the best we can, and that part, that piece of art is now done. Curtain time. Continuing on this curtain rod project, what I think I'm going to do for the hanger part, I'm going to have, let's see, not to scale, 1 inch, I'm sorry, 1 foot, 12 inches of 1/4 inch stock, I think. At the top, if we look at the side view on this, we'll go ahead and do my little devil's tail on the top and on the bottom. Alright, and that'll be mounted to the wall. We'll come off of that with some more 1/4 inch stock, and I'll put some type of support in there, a scroll maybe, or it's just something simple. From there, I'm going to take 1 chain link and then hang one of these hooks. Alright, so the hook will be hung like this, and then on the end of that I'm going to put a 3/8 round spud sticking up. And then what'll happen is I'll make 2 of these, the curtain rod, which is a 1-inch solid round stock, will sit inside that hook like that. So the hook will represent a chain and the curtain rod holder. And then we're going to be draping the chain from this bracket to the second bracket, and this little 3/4 inch stud I'll hook the chain into so that it sits inside there. So that's the plan. We got to make these up. This one here will be decorated. That'll just be a normal spot. I might actually forge this to a taper and then bend it up. I'm not sure, but that's the plan. I'll come back when we have most of that done. The first part of the brackets, they're not perfect, but they're pretty damn good for somebody who doesn't know what the hell they're doing. They line up pretty good. So that's one set of curtains, another set of curtains. Pretty darn close. It's going to be important that when we hang them, we know, like if this is a set over here, that you know where elevation is. Otherwise, we're going to have crooked curtains, and that won't be a good thing. So. We might actually give them the ability to adjust that too. I don't know. I got to think about it. But anyway, that's the first part of the brackets, and most of the forging. Like I said, that the horizontal that comes off of that, I might forge that little spur on the end to hold the chain. After looking things over, trying to come up with the best configuration to hang the. Again, I want to hang the curtain rod off of this hook, and then I want to drape chain across it. Of course, Chandler just couldn't keep it simple, so I decided to make a piece of chain up. And what I'm doing is I'm creating a hook, or an arm rather, a bracket, like that out of the chain, like that. All right, I guess you can see it there, kind of. So this is just my prototype roughed up. I really didn't want to get into it because when you start welding chain and stuff, it's so messy and it takes so long to clean up, but I really like that look. I think that's going to look really cool as a shelf bracket. And then we're going to hang this hook off of here. And then what I'm going to end up doing is getting a regular hook and hanging it off the end so that I can drape the chain through it. So that's what we're doing now. I just sandblasted up the other 3 pieces of chain, and I'll get them welded up. We'll come back sometime when I'm somewhere. Have it. 2 left-handed, 2 right-handed. Oh, lots of cleanup. Problem with chain is there's a lot of cleanup when you get done. Ugh. But I think that's going to be really, really cool when we get done with this. So there are the brackets, the chain part of the brackets. Now I need to get them cleaned up and get the hooks mounted on them. I got to figure. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. These obviously aren't going to be exactly the same, but when they're hanging, they have to hang perfectly level. So I'll either put them all on the brackets in the same spot and then adjust the height of the hooks when I weld the hooks on, or I'll put the hooks on and then adjust where they are in the brackets. I got to figure that out, but we got a lot of cleanup to do first. Just went out and picked up the last set of hooks. This is basically the configuration these things are going to be in. I think it's going to be pretty cool. At the outside, like I said, I'm draping chain in front of the curtain. This will be the curtain rod holder, and we should be able to have room to put it to get in there. These are just a little bit on the small side. It fits the unwelded side, but the welded side doesn't fit. So I might actually throw these in the forge and just give them a little bit of a stretch. They're galvanized right now, or there's something on them. So we're going to give it a muriatic soap, muriatic acid, clean them up. And like I said, I might just run them into the forge. Yeah, I want to get rid of the writing and everything, kind of rough them up anyway, and then just get them so that they fit all the way down inside. Step, step, step. We're getting really close, but now it's to the point where everything can go crazy. So the brackets are made, welded onto the back bracket. All right, they're made in sets, left and right, because of having to wrap the chain at one's offset, or the back side's offset a little bit. So the protracted, the arms are centered. What I want to do is I want to put that, and I'm going to go ahead and put a cross piece in, so that installation should be a heck of a lot easier, rather than trying to line up 2 separate pieces with that cross piece in. We're good. But the problem is this: I got this hook to put on. Which one can you see? This one. All right, so this hook needs to be put on the end here. Turn it like that for you. All right, and that's going to hold the draped chain that's in the front, and then this larger hook is put on in this location. All right, and that's going to hold the actual curtain rod. And the problem, I guess it's the problem, is that when I get all done, this assembly here, the attachment of the hooks, both of them actually, they have to be perfectly horizontal or level rather when they hang. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. I think I need to put these hooks on now. Hopefully as similar as possible. And then I'm going to probably put an arm up or something that's squared to the table or perpendicular, not perpendicular, parallel to the edge of the table, so that I can then slide the hooks right up into them and then weld them in place, I think. But that's, I mean, it's this kind of stuff that really takes a heck of a lot of time, especially on a one-off like this, because these hooks, this one and its matching one, they have to be perfect. Actually, even beyond that, they need to be from left to right. The two curtains are close enough together where they're going to see each other. They need to be the same height off the top here too. So I hope everything's going to work out. Damn. Oh man, this Chandler crazy. Critical point. All right, this is a mock-up, my very first one. We'll see what we can do about cleaning things up, but 16 feet in the air would be fine. I'm going to put a ring through here. But anyway, I said, all right, this is it. This is what I'm trying to reproduce. The key is that these top lines from one curtain to the next has to be the same. This height of this hook right here, this point and this point have to be exactly the same. So I made up my prototype, and then I made up this little getting jiggy with it thing, so that, right, we're locked in the corner here. That hook is held exactly where I want it. There, height-wise, distance-wise, this hook is height, angle, distance. Hopefully, all I need to do now, gotta make those a little shorter. So we can use this one. Hopefully, all I need to do now is just put this thing in here like this and get it welded wherever it happens to be. That one I can see that there's already a variation there. But if I go to this point, I should be in the same position. And let's try another hook. Well, I can't do that because I didn't cut this one, but yeah, once I get this cut, it should be right where I want it to be. So, heck of a contraption, but hopefully we're going to be within millimeters. I hope. Those maybe I might have did something right moments. So I mocked up, hung a piece of plywood. Plywood is perfectly level. Mounted both of these brackets right at the very top of the plywood, and my curtain rod is perfectly level. That's good. It's a good thing. Perfect. I can't believe that worked. Kind of looks good, and again, the curtain will hang back here, and then this chain will drape up. Something like this, I think, is just the accent that I want. That'll drape right across on these outer hooks. It's gonna look, I don't know, a little industrial, a little medieval, and I think freaking cool. Cool as heck, I think. All right, so let me test the other set, make sure they're good. And if so, then we can weld these things up and get them finished. Wow. You got both of them finished as they're gonna be, except for finished. No, they're all put together now. Kind of got the chain length that I want, so I need to get those chains cleaned up. What do I have to do? I gotta get the chains cleaned up, and then I gotta make some finials. Something to put on the end of these. Nothing big, maybe just a ball of something I'll forge. And then once that's, I think that'll be all of the build. And then we just got to clean everything up and poly it probably. Satin polish is probably what I'm going to do. So, a lot of work. This project, I got to do the finials on the end of the curtain rod. getting kind of sick of this project. Here's how we got it. We have a 1-inch diameter rod. I cut off some plugs about 1 inch long. These are 1 inch diameter. I'm going to flatten those, hopefully to create something like that. All right, and then I'm going to take some, I think it's 3/4, and just run a taper down for, you know, maybe 1.5 inches or so to bring it down to some type of look like that. And I think that's as far as I'm going to go with it. So we'll get these in the forge, we'll get them flattened down. Hopefully that'll work for me and not go too big. And then we're going to weld it all together. And I think what I'm going to end up doing is putting a stud on the end of this with a set screw or maybe a pin or something. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to put that removable finial on. First time I've ever done that before. So then everything else is ready. Last time, hopefully that fan isn't too loud. Turn it down low. Last time I tried making a plug like this, I was trying to hold it with tongs, and one of you guys suggested that I use my flatter and just flatten it with that. So that's what we're going to try. Hopefully it won't bounce around too much and we'll get where we want to be. Let's see if this turns out to be an easy thing or a hard thing to do. Let's hope it's easy, because I'm in the mood for easy. How do you like that? Oh, we got it out. I'm not hating that. A little thicker than I wanted it to be. But it's not horrible. Let's go one more time. But that worked really well. Using the flatter to hammer that down. Thanks, guys. Run and see where we can go with it. We're relatively flat. I think that worked well. That's good. Alrighty, we're going to do the other 3 like that. It's the scene in the last taping. The 4 pucks are ready to go. What I'm doing now is I'm putting the tape on. I already did one side. I use that edge of that hardy to give me a little bit of a mark, so I have an idea. Trying to keep these the same, I hope anyway, and just tape them down, nothing fancy. I'm not going all the way down to a point. But enough to give the visual at 16 feet in the air anyway. Check my links, they look pretty good. Clean up my hammers. Straighten everything out. Try to get her centered in there a little bit. Best I can anyway. Alright, so that's both ends. I'll nip those 2 off, we'll come back and do the last 2 and we'll start putting this thing together. I love this design as you go mentality. So here are my points. I got to get them cleaned up and trued up. And those will go on the end of the rod. That was the original plan. My hands don't even work today. Alright. But I'm like, I don't want to plug, I don't want to tap, I don't know what the heck to do. So I have some 1-inch tubing, 16 gauge, And what I'm thinking of doing is just going ahead and narrowing the end of this rod. Where am I? End of this rod just enough so that tube can slide over it, and then I can just pin these and have them in there. So that would allow me at that point to just glue these 3 pieces together. All right, once they're cleaned up, slide it in, drop a pin, and be done. I think that's the easiest way to do it. So let me get everything glued up, and we'll see where we are after that. All right, by a stroke of, I don't know what I'd call it, not liking the original plan and a little bit of luck, kind of the same plan, where I put a cup on the end of the finial. I just welded them together. It's 16 feet in the air. I hope I will be okay. It's rough as I want it to look, that's for sure. But I was able to find some tubing that fit over the outside of the rod, and that way I don't have to mess with the rod. So all I need to do now is drill a pinhole in there, and we are ready to rock and roll. We can just clean these rods up, and this thing will be done. So I don't think that's a horrible finial for the piece that I'm working on anyway. So let me get these drilled, get the rods cleaned up, and I'll show you the final picture, I hope soon. Boys and girls, there you have it. Awesome. And then it's just a mixture of a lot of different things. Let me take the camera off here. Get in a little closer so you can see some of the details, and I'll hang a curtain up there to see. If you notice, I don't know if you remember how much I showed, but the chains for the bracket, I sandblasted those, I cleaned those off, raw steel, and we got a nice grade of black, some highlights in the welds and the grind marks. Nice contrast to the clear coat I put on the chain. That's the accent piece. Now that one, all I did was wash the chain, so that's its own natural color. It's just the clear coat pulling it out. As far as blacksmithing, the only thing we really had was forging the back brackets and what I'm calling a finial. It kind of looks good. I think it's okay. Let me throw that fake curtain on there, and we'll see what it looks like. It is with something behind it. My welding curtain doesn't do it justice. You gotta imagine that's gonna be 16 feet in the air. It's 16-foot long curtains underneath, and the whole concept in the design that they have is again, the curtain rods will be 16 feet. The curtains are 16 feet high. Sorry, I'm tired. And then there's backlighting behind it. So the curtains are going to be, I think, an off-white, but they're going to allow light through. So when they're having parties, they can change the color of the light behind the curtains. So I think a nice mixture of shapes and ideas. I like how the chain drapes. I like the color contrast between the raw steel and the rusted steel. And it was a lot of work. Remember, I did 2 of those, right? There's 2 of them. So I'll call this video done. I'll definitely post on Anvil Ringer, my Facebook page, the final install pictures, and maybe I'll be able to do an install video too. So thanks for coming along on this one. It wasn't a lot of blacksmithing, but a lot of work. Holy cow, a lot of work. Take care. Catch you in the next one. Thanks for your support.